Hello, found my channel again, Drake Coneth. And I'm going to talk about a serious subject, something a little close for me, depression. And maybe how you can help someone, or maybe this can help someone, I hope. Um, if you know someone who is depressed or has chronic depression, speaking from experience on this, it's really important that you try and notice when they seem their downest. You know, because it can really change things. Depression can be caused by many things. Some people have a chemical imbalance, like doctors say, that causes it, but that's not always the cause. It could stem from abuse, bullying of some kind. Um, but it's something that needs to be taken seriously sometimes because it does lead to suicidal thoughts if left alone, and sometimes it really goes down to really dark places. And I did this because I felt that it might help someone, because I've dealt with it, and how I dealt with it was wrong for many years. Um, I feel if you have it, you should try and get yourself a pet, because if you don't feel like you have the friends that can help you, you need a pet, a dog or cat preferable, because as they do seem to help with it, um, they'll notice when you're down the most, even an untrained dog or cat, and they will try and get your attention. They will try and comfort you and cheer you up. Because oddly enough, animals can actually sense this stuff. It's weird sometimes, but they can. And it's really important to kind of, sit down. If you know someone who is depressed, you need to try and sit down and chat with them on a regular basis, no matter what it's about. If you know what they like, sit down and talk with them on a daily basis. Find time to do it. If you are depressed and you feel like you have no one to talk to someone. Because if you don't, it can lead to a problem. As someone who has dealt with suicidal tendencies and attempted suicide myself due to my depression and stuff, the biggest thing about it is you need to find the confidence to understand that it's not your fault what happened to you, or the people who picked on you. It's not your fault. They were assholes. That's plain and simple. But for the most part, you just need to try and stay cheerful and try and actually communicate with people, because I can't stress that enough, because from my own personal experiences, communicating with others has been the one thing that probably kept me from successfully ending it. Might have been. And it's one of those things that it's hard to talk on or even discuss, because it feels like you may have problems with it. If you know someone who is depressed and they seem to not talk a whole lot, and they seem kind of skittish from you, or nervous all the time, try and when they're like that, try and talk to them, because they're probably having a mental conflict at the time. A lot of times when they seem shut down, that's when you need to talk to them, not leave them alone, because that's very crucial moment in a lot of people's minds, where if someone who's depressed is shut down, there's probably a chance that they're contemplating something, the consequences of it, the pros and cons to the act. And depression can lead to a lot of things, not just suicide, but that's the key. That's one of the bigger things. But talking to someone who you know is depressed, or suspect it, and someone who is depressed who talks to people, it's crucial to have those friends that can help you. Pets are also the biggest thing, because they help a lot. Because, like I said, they can kind of tell when you're down and when you're out. And when it can help you the most to give them attention, because ironically enough, it may sound weird, but giving the animal attention seems to help as well. And it's just, I did this as a kind of a PSA, because having dealt with my own internal struggles with depression and suicide, it is really important. If they're depressed and they're making the threat, there's a high chance that it's just for attention, but it's also a good call to not just take it lightly. For the most part, talk to them, try and talk them out of it. It won't be hard if they mention it, but this is also an individual that if they're depressed, that you need to keep an eye on. You need to keep interactions with them up, because the threat with a depressed person is usually the signs that it's actually a thought process. It's a genuine process. It's hard to identify when the threat's made and if it's someone who's not depressed, and it's usually someone who's not is just seeking attention. Someone who is depressed won't often make it. They're more likely to just do it, and that's the really sad part. You won't know till you found them. And usually, key signs in my personal experiences is when they're shutting down, when they look like they're trying to avoid everyone. That's when you need to try and communicate with them, because a lot of times that can be a key factor in it. Well, that's all I really have to say on it, and all I feel comfortable saying on it. And as such, well, later, have a nice one. Hopefully this helps someone.